One second. All right. Yo, so uh we're gonna talk about real quick. We're gonna talk about like the problem with relationships these days and like the unnecessary, I guess, drama behind emotions and feeling for somebody else. It's so unnecessary when you actually begin to recognize what it is and like understand it, whether it be through yourself, which most time it is, but then also the next person that you experience. It's such bullshit. But we're gonna talk about it. So the first thing is that you will the thing about feelings and emotions and feeling for people, like there's this narrative like, oh, don't you shouldn't tell people how you feel, or no one wants to hear about how you feel, and you know, most relationships these days don't have anything to do with how both parties feel for each other. You know what I mean? It's more about like, I don't know, like I guess like attraction, lust, um, and things of that nature. At the core of it though, like I could talk about the way that I see those things and like what the root of it is and stuff like that, like in my view. But I'm really just gonna keep it kind of simple. And I'm just gonna talk about it through the lens of my experience. So like I'm someone who, well, at least in the past, I used to be like I would be a victim. I was a victim of that mentality, meaning, I would withhold the way that I felt about, you know, certain people I was interested in, right? Certain women, and that already is so unnecessary, but it causes this kind of secrecy. It's not as mysterious as you may think. Like you withdrawing and withholding yourself does not make you more of a mysterious person at all, actually. I think it does quite the opposite, and it probably, I think it I think what it does is repels people away from you. The reason why is because you're holding a secret. When you withhold yourself, you are holding back, and people feel that. People are going to feel that your connection is based off a secret. There's something that's not being said, and people think that this is tension. This creates this tension. Tension is great in a relationship. Secrecy doesn't create tension, and if it does, the type of tension it creates is not one that's going to bring the relationship forth. It's going to cause more confusion, more mind games, which is psychological warfare, and all of those things. Um, So it really just does the opposite of what you want it to do, what you think it's doing. And so now, what happens when someone does reveal the way that they feel um, directly? Well, if anything, I believe that it doesn't. Initially, it may look like it repels somebody, but what you'll find is with time, is actually the start of a process where this person that you just revealed your emotions to, they may feel overwhelmed. They may feel um, validated in some way, like their ego just got stroked. Like, oh, I have power over this person. They have all these different things that's going on in their heads, and they're feeling all these different things. Now, what happens to you when you reveal the way that you feel? First and foremost, it's like letting a skeleton out the closet. It's like literally allowing yourself to sneeze after the biggest right? It's allowing yourself to cough in a silent classroom when you know that coughing may get you looks and stares. It's that. It's so relieving. It feels relieving. And that alleviation may be followed by anxiety and like nervousness, like, oh, what are they gonna think? Da, 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 da. Those things are temporary though. What's not temporary is you withdrawing what it is that is inside of you. Those things are gonna stick. Your feelings are not temporary. What you sense is not temporary. They will not go away with time as much as the thoughts of how someone else will perceive you will. Does that make sense? What you feel is true. What you feel is valid. And so when you let that out and you let it come through you, you release it, then it's out of your system. But when you withhold it, because it's something that is true for you, it's a truth for you. It's not something that, oh, it's not something made up in your head where it's like, oh, someone looked at me and I feel embarrassed. That's going to go away. Those are temporary. Why? Because those are external things. That's not coming through you. That's a mind, that's a mentality trap. That's a mental thing, but it's not something that's actually sensed inside of you. Embarrassment is a mentality, just like withdrawing and feeling like you can't speak the way that you feel. You can't speak your mind. Essentially, you can't speak your mind. Those things are true. And so, what that does for you is it brings you alleviation. Not only that, but then that alleviation is what actually brings forth more power. You're generating more power within yourself. Why? Because you are teaching yourself how to speak up for yourself. If you never tell someone how you feel, then you can, whether it's romantic, then you'll never be able to tell the next person how you feel when it's something a little bit more serious. Maybe someone has disrespected you. You won't have the confidence to do that because you are already used to holding back your feelings. See, the context doesn't matter. It's the fact that you're communicating. It doesn't matter, regardless of the intention or the reason why, that doesn't matter. What your body knows is the fact that you're talking, you're releasing. That's what your body cares about. Your body doesn't really care what type of emotions or what type of human context is behind the reason why you're communicating whatever you are. So it's just very important that you do speak your feelings, you do speak your mind, because it's for yourself at the end of the day. You may initially think it's for the other person, but whenever you think it's for the other person, that's when you begin to withhold yourself because you're already thinking through the lens of somebody else. Mm-mm. You're never going to know how someone else is going to feel. And you're not even going to know how it's going to impact somebody else in the long run. You're thinking about the short term. Allow yourself to take a risk on yourself. When you speak your mind, you speak your feelings, you are taking a risk on yourself. You're saying, however way you want to put it. I like to say I'm the skeleton out the closet. I like to say I'm dropping a bomb and I'm leaving. What happens when you throw a grenade? You need to leave the vicinity. It's like Call of Duty, right? You have to leave you leave the vicinity, especially if that shit kind of like bounces back off the wall a little bit closer to you than you wanted it to, right? Or stun grenade, whatever it is. You just want to leave it at the vicinity. You know, you don't want to linger there, right? And so that's kind of like the best part. That's kind of the best part. Because no matter which way that someone takes it, you just leave. You're just like, fuck it. I'm dropping this bomb and I'm out. Like, what? You do what you want with that information, right? Because they already know that you feel this way. So if they really want to pursue you, then they will. And if they find that they don't, if you find that they don't, they're waiting, maybe they're exploring their options, you're now, guess what? Now you are gathering as much, you've already gathered it. They've shown you who they were through the waiting process. through that time it took for them to decide on you, you already gathered all the information that you needed. Do you still want to pursue this person? Because eventually it'll come back around. But now it's the choice is in your hands, and it's not in the sense that, oh, I was waiting for this person and they're finally ready for me. No, it's coming through. Hmm. Okay, this is how they treated me. This is how they were going about things. You have different avenues of having how to direct and reroute how you want to move forward with this person. And again, because you have this option available to you because you already let it out. If you didn't let it out, your emotions would have otherwise been the first communicative response, meaning you would have been super heightened. You like basically if this person came back to you and they showed interest in you, the first thing that would be on your mind is how you feel. Because you didn't drop the bomb already, the bomb is going to be dropped the next time that they come into your vicinity. Now that is going to scare them away, and you're going to be too emotional. Not that that's a bad thing, but you're not going to have as much control over your emotions that you would have when when if you would have just dropped the bomb initially, right? Because when they come back, you're a fresh, clean slate. You have nothing to release to them. You've already told them everything, how you felt, and now you're like, okay, now I can have a conversation with you without my emotions getting in the way. There's nothing left for me to say. So now it's on you. The ball is in their court. And if they decide to shoot it, then it's your choice whether they they score or not, you know? So um I didn't really expect for this conversation to go this way. The last thing I wanted to say is there will be people who you will feel something with and like you'll know it's true. You'll feel it. You'll know. And they will they will deny themselves of what they felt. Okay, there's plenty of reasons for that, but the point for you to understand is that don't allow people to make you feel crazy for feeling the way that you did. Okay, your feelings are true. You sensed something was there, and because their mind played some type of psychological trick on them that made them kind of backdoor their own emotions, backdoor their own senses, the reality, then they will go ahead and spin a story. They will treat you a certain type of way. There's different things in which people how this manifests through certain types of people. But the only thing that you need to remember is that you know it's true. So like who cares what this person's saying or how they're making you seem to be or whatever the case is, you know what I mean? The mind will always try to save the person who is in their ego's ass, right? That's kind of like what the mind when someone's in their ego, the mind will function as the savior. The mind will play tricks on this person and help them alleviate any type of confusion by creating more illusion, right? When you're someone who's transparent and not really afraid to kind of just say how you feel, it's not a really big deal, um, then your mind will function far differently. You typically don't have an ego, or at least not as much, so your mind will operate differently. Okay, so and if you're watching this to this end, then you're probably someone who's like that already. Um, and so this message will probably, you'll receive it, um, and probably resonate with it. But either way, that's all I have. So thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed, let me know with a like. Um, and yeah, I will I will catch you when I catch you. Peace.